All right, let's dive in today. We're tackling Black Meta-Modernism, and honestly, I'm already intrigued. You sent over a bunch of stuff, including that episode from Between Shelves.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I'm hooked. This whole idea of like reframing thought, through the lens of Black experiences, well,
Yeah.
I'm ready to have my assumptions challenged.
Yeah.
So to help us break it all down, we've got our expert here.
Well, you're going to find this fascinating, I think. Black metamodernism, it's not just about like acknowledging the Black experience.
Yeah.
It puts it front and center.
Yeah.
It really kind of flips the script on those traditional narratives.
Okay, so flipping through the notes here, I saw the phrase deficit model.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta be honest, I'm not totally sure what that means in this context.
Well, you know how sometimes Black experiences are portrayed just through struggle,
Yeah.
That's the deficit model.
Oh, okay.
Black metamodernism changes that, though. It highlights the resilience, the innovation, the sheer multiplicity of Black voices. It forces us to see the limits of our own viewpoints, which I think is something you're always pushing for.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. That resonates with me for sure. Okay, so another thing that keeps saying other experiences.
Right.
What's that about?
Other refers to anyone marginalized by colonial power structures.
Mm.
It's important to note that while Black metamodernism is rooted in the Black experience, its principles, they can be applied to understanding the experiences of all marginalized groups,
Mm-hmm.
like finding that solidarity,
Yeah, finding solidarity. Okay, that makes sense. Now, this is where I got really interested. The podcast mentions the African diaspora as like a universal exploration of human origins. That's pretty profound.
Right.
What's the thinking there?
It's about recognizing that since humanity began in Africa, the diaspora kind of holds the key to, understanding how we're all interconnected.
Mm-hmm.
It's really a concept that highlights our shared history and the richness that comes with cultural diversity.
So it's like looking back to the starting point to see how we're all connected.
Okay.
I see how this is coming together. Another question, though. The notes keep asking, why metamodernism? What makes this specific framework so important here?
Okay, so think of metamodernism as a way to bridge past, present, and future narratives.
Okay.
It's about synthesizing, not getting stuck in old ways of thinking. Black metamodernism takes this further, though. It uses this framework to navigate, the tensions between opposing ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of getting stuck in that either, it embraces the complexity. It holds those seemingly contradictory ideas at the same time.
Okay, so it's not about finding one simple answer, but understanding those nuances, the complexities.
Exactly. Black metamodernism acknowledges that, lived experiences, especially Black experiences, they're rarely black and white. It's about that both and instead of the either, which can be, let's face it, pretty limiting.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, they mentioned this Germain Marvel and something called diurnal cognition.
Right.
And honestly, it sounds kind of intimidating. Break it down for us. What's important about Marvel's ideas, and how do they connect to Black metamodernism?
Okay, Germain Marvel is a key figure here, and his idea of diurnal cognition, it might sound complex, but it's really insightful. It's all about embracing those dualities, those contradictions. He argues that it's not about choosing sides, but understanding how, two seemingly opposite things can be true at the same time.
Okay, I see how that ties into Black metamodernism.
Yeah.
Can you give an example, though, of diurnal cognition in action, particularly within Black communities? I think that would help it clip.
Think about navigating resistance and accommodation
Okay.
within, a system that's inherently oppressive.
Yeah.
It's not about choosing one or the other. It's understanding how both responses can exist at the same time.
Right.
And how individuals and communities have to deal with that tension every single day.
Wow, that's a really powerful example. It makes you think about how much we miss when we simplify things, How important that empathy and understanding are.
Exactly. Recognizing that complexity of human experience. You have to approach it with, both your head and your heart.
This is also fascinating. The podcast also mentions this debate around Germain Marvel's ideas. Some folks disagree that Black metamodernism is a stage beyond oscillation. Honestly, I'm a little lost there. Can you clarify this debate and why it matters?
It's an interesting debate,
Yeah.
and one that really gets at how we see change and progress. See, Marvel suggests that Black metamodernism represents a final stage beyond oscillation.
Okay.
But the other side argues that oscillation itself isn't bad. It actually reflects how dynamic life is,
Okay.
that constant ebb and flow that shapes our experiences.
So it's not about rejecting oscillation entirely.
Exactly. We're talking about Black Meta-Modernism, building on Meta-Modernism. So it takes that understanding of oscillation, the back and forth, and adds the nuance of Black experience. It's not dismissing it. It's deepening our understanding of it.
Okay, that's given me a lot to think about. So we've talked about challenging the deficit model, embracing other experiences, the importance of the African diaspora, and the concept of diurnal cognition. I feel like I'm starting to grasp Black metamodernism, but can we break down why this matters for our listener? What are the key takeaways so far?
One of the biggest takeaways is that Black metamodernism challenges us to really rethink our assumptions about the Black experience.
Yeah.
It moves beyond those simplistic representations and shows us the diversity and the richness of Black voices.
Mm-hmm.
It's about centering those voices, recognizing that complexity and depth of lived experiences.
It sounds like embracing nuance and complexity instead of those like comfortable but ultimately limited narratives.
You got it. It's acknowledging that identity is fluid, evolving, that individuals and communities hold both individual and collective identities, right?
Mhm.
It's about realizing there's no one-size-fits-all approach to understanding human experience.
And I think that resonates with everyone on some level.
Right.
We're all constantly changing, our identities shaped by so many things, families, communities, experiences.
Exactly. One thing is, we can't oversimplify or essentialize the Black experience.
Yeah.
Black metamodernism is about embracing complexity, not creating a new monolith. It's not saying there's one way to be Black.
Right.
We have to be careful not to reduce it to like a checklist of traits or experiences. And it's also important to remember, Black metamodernism isn't like a magic solution. It's a way of thinking and acting, but it's not a quick fix for those deep-rooted problems. Real change takes time, effort, tough conversations, and making those hard choices.
That's so crucial. It reminds us that even with these frameworks, we still have to put in the work. There's no easy answer. But that's also what's exciting. Black metamodernism isn't about just accepting things. It's about engaging. It's about getting involved and creating that better world.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, I think that officially wraps up our deep dive. Huge thanks to you for sharing your expertise and insights with us.
It was my pleasure. Always enjoy these.
And to our listener, thank you for joining us on this exploration of Black metamodernism. We hope it's made you curious and inspired you to keep exploring. Check out those sources you sent, dive into the work of the thinkers and artists we talked about, and most importantly, keep challenging yourself to think critically, embrace complexity, and imagine new possibilities for a better world. Until next time, keep diving.